Yeah, I think that I just looked you up and I was just amazed about all the people you played with. I can hardly remember all of them. I know that the two of you have both played, made music with Stevie Wonder. Is that so?
Well, what's interesting is we've known each other for we've known each other about each other for years, but never met. We have the same friends from New York and Chicago.
And the same people.
Same people and never met. We never met until this year.
Yeah.
This is the first time we actually met and played and performed together.
Last night, yeah.
We knew the Luther family, we knew everybody involved.
Because I was with Luther Vandross
And the Stevie Wonder family and the Bowie family, Carlos Alomar, Robert Clark. We all came up in the same ranks together.
Uh-huh.
And when I was a kid, I used to watch Sesame Street with Carlos Alomar and Robert.
Oh, really? He was in Sesame Street?
And Luther
Sesame
Vandross.
Street.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and Luther Vandross too.
Luther Vandross too?
Yeah, they were the original Sesame Street. If you see the original, you see them singing and playing.
Let
Oh,
me
wow.
interject
With all
here.
the alphabets.
Can I interject here? There is a film
Yes.
called Never Too Much that's come out about Luther Vandross, and it just came out, and I'm in the film, and it's Luther's life from that when you're talking about right now, when he was on Sesame Street, and he was really, a big part of it. And then when I was growing up, I didn't even realize that he was until now, and so he started out that way.
It's a brand new documentary. Just came out. We're not sure when it comes to Europe, but it's really it's beautiful. It's sad. It's happy.
Yeah,
and you leave having questions. Because Luther was a special person to all of us. And
Very
it's a
special.
beautiful documentary. And
My brother.
And Ava looking kind of cute in that back in the day. He's just looking kind of cute back in the day.
Thank you very much. Back in the day.
I was talking about yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, in the film, I'm in about 70% of the film. It takes you from I worked with Luther for like 9 years. So it took me from the very beginning of working with him when I was a little kid to his end, till the end.
Can I ask you a question about that? Because you worked with Luther Vandross before the two of you
Worked with
contributed
Bowie.
with David Bowie on
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
Americans.
That's how it happened. It happened because David and David wanted to do a soul album. And so he was like, well, where should we go to do the soul album? And I said, well, we need to go to New York. We need to go to the Apollo Theater, which is where all the major black artists have performed and been successful. And he goes, okay, let's do that. So, he sent me on to New York, and then he started talking to New York, and he got a hold of people that knew Carlos, and then I told him we need to go to the Apollo, so we went to the Apollo, and we saw everybody, the Spinners, the Temptations, everybody, Richard Pryor, everybody was there, and the Carlos was playing with one of the groups there, and that's how we got Carlos.
Wow, so let me just...
And he brought Luther to the studio after that.
Ah, that's how it went. Okay, because this was when I read about you, that you went, at some point, you went to a big palace near Paris.
Oh yes, the Chateau de Ville.
Yeah, where David was recording.
Oh, that was romantic.
Pinups. Wow, that's not what
I don't know if we're telling that story.
But you said...
It's kind of spicy, y'all.
Okay, well now let's have it.
That's a spicy story, honey. That's another day. Yeah.
No, but you said somewhere that was one of the happiest times of your life. That I remember.
Yeah, it was. But for a different reason than you might think. It was when he was trying to figure out how he would produce a song on me or whatever, and we went there, and this 17th century studio was incredible, and we did some songs that came from the Astronets record, which was like Sweet Thing and I'm a Laser and some other songs that he produced.
Yeah, right. So that's interesting, because I just, on the way here in the car, I listened to David's version of Sweet Thing. And then I remembered, I just read that you actually...
Well, he produced it on me first.
Yeah, right. You made a very early
and then
recording.
he decided to steal it away and to do it himself.
Yeah,
But he did a longer version. He did a short version.
Right. And my version was more his was more, I don't know.
It's just rambling all over the place.
I know.
His version
Mine
is.
was just melodic and to the point.
Yeah, right.
It's radio. So
Right,
Yeah.
you prefer my version.
But that was just that was like mid-70s, so that was right before what you just described when David went to New York and wanted to know more about soul music.
Right. He was like, he just wanted to change up because David was a chameleon, so he was like, okay, I'm Ziggy today, tomorrow I'm going to be, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, I don't know. Because when he told me he wanted to do a soul album, I was like, you want to do a soul album?
Yeah. It's so far from when you listen to Diamond Dogs, for instance.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm
You
wrong.
go from Ziggy to Young Americans, like two extremes.
Yeah. But even on Diamond Dogs, he's still very.
But he wasn't
English.
afraid of extremes, David.
No. But there was one song on Diamond Dogs that was kind of funny because it's 1984 and it has like a Papa Was a Rolling Stone kind of intro with violins and everything and the funk groove there. But that was, I guess, at that point was all he had done, in as far as doing black music, correct? So how?
He did more. He actually did more, but it was just.
Well, I think he wanted to
completed.
tribute black music because he loves people like Michael Jackson and Marvin Gaye, and he was very upset with MTV that they would not play Michael Jackson's videos. And he got into an argument with the guy at MTV and was like, hey, wait a minute, Michael Jackson is great and is done as good as anybody.
They wouldn't play.
They wouldn't put him on regular rotation. They would sporadically.
It was a very white rock kind of.
Yeah, and then the guy on MTV said, well, we have our format. And he was like, F your format.
Yeah, David was really against all that.
He was very, he didn't have a racist or any kind of that bone in his body. He was very, everybody, very liberal, very woke.
Everyone should be included. Everything should be. If you're going to do music from different kinds of people, I think the only black artist was an English band.
Yeah.
And they were like a rap band or something. From
Yeah.
England. But it was nothing like compared to what it turned out to be. But David was already ahead of the game. His mind was already, so he knew what was going to happen eventually. They didn't.
But he was actually already around during the hippie days. So then,
Most of us were.
What I'm trying to say is that the hippie days, the hippie times, was like we're all equal, everybody's included, nothing, segregation or all these emancipation movements during the hippie days that people sometimes forget about when they call us boomers.
Right.
They forget, the stuff we fought for,
exactly.
and that we actually achieved a lot.
Civil rights and things like that.
And a lot of
I mean,
Russians.
I'll say an example because in America at that time, it was still, if you were black, you could not get pop radio.
Yeah.
And Luther Vandross had that problem too. They constantly had pop records, but they wouldn't play them on pop radio. And I would go out with David to different things, and people would look at us, because I had blonde hair then, and he had red hair, and they would give us these strange looks because they didn't like us being together. And he would just look at them like, I dare you to say something. I dare you. I just dare you. So he was very defiant about, just caring and loving for everybody, LGBT rights, gay people, everything. Every day I get on my email, David saved me from killing myself when I was, when I became gay or whatever it happened to be, and he soothed that savage beast that they put out there. So.
And if you notice, although most of the bands after Ziggy started this had a black and Puerto Rican rhythm section. Because he liked the art, he liked the colors of the black rhythm section against the white rock.
Yes.
And the way it grind together was fantastic.
That's why I used you, baby. Pray 30 again, y'all.
But it was his concept of mixing the blues and rock also together. Instead of having one kind of style, he mixed all of it together because it was like him. The chameleon is the way he is and the way he writes songs. And he was just, he's got lots of ideas. And he's a great casting director. A lot of us that worked with Bowie, he cast us. If one person had one little thing that was not enough for anybody else, he knew, I can use that. And most people, when you say, I don't want to be used, but with him, it was, everybody won. Everybody won. Whatever he wanted, everybody won in the game. It was beautiful because it was like a gorgeous team or a gorgeous painting. And he just knew exactly what he wanted from somebody. And he says, I need this here. And he's grabbing stuff all the time, not knowing what he's going to do with it, but he knows I can do that, I can use this for something, or eventually I will fall into its place. And that's how he writes songs. I mean, he's just, and he's interesting to hang out with, because he's a comic.
Right.
He's a clown. He's like a Mighty Python. His sense of humor was great. You never felt the intelligence. You never felt below him. Everything was always very equal. And as a musical director, he was fantastic. He was a great person to hang out with, to have a coffee with. He would go to the truckers, all the people that are driving us, the crew, whatever. He would get hang out with them. He was never above any of that kind of stuff. He was just, he wanted to know. He was very curious about everything. What do you do? How do you do that? I pay you, but I don't give a shit. But but what do you do? But he was very open-minded about many things. And when someone can allow us as Americans, here comes a British guy coming, being very open and say, yeah, I want this Puerto Rican here, I want this black guy here, I want Earl Slick to be here, I want crazy Mike Garson to be here. Most of us would never be in a band together. He knew how to put us together and make it all work. Amazing. He was a clever bastard. He was a clever bastard, and no mushrooms.
Just to make clear to the people who are listening that you actually played with David in the 80s, right? Yeah. And you toured with David from 83 till 87.
Moonlight and Glass Spider. I worked with David from 83 till almost 88 for quite a while, on and off.
And you worked with David in
the
mid-70s,
yeah. Late 70s.
So what was your biggest, do you think, some consider Young Americans as one of his best records. I don't know if you agree, but I think it's very good. One of my favorite songs of all time is on there. It's called Somebody Up There Likes Me.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. It's a very special song for us. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. So
Young Americans is one of his most prolific.
Right, yes, that's gorgeous.
Even though Ziggy, the one with Winning Daydream is probably my favorite still.
Really?
But besides, I guess I put them side by side. But I don't know. Those would be my favorite too.
Yeah, for me, it's a combination because as I was growing up into music, it would be the Trilogy album. It would be Station to Station because I was really proud to see that kind of funk in a rock thing was kind of very cool. All the early albums, and then the Outside album later on, he got a better band, and it's kind of interesting in the '90s. So there's a lot of combination. When you have Young Americans in '74 or 80, what was it, 73, 74, yeah, and then '83 for us, it was 10-year anniversary of Young Americans and Let's Dance. So it was like an anniversary of another level.
Yeah.
And then, it's just, again, typical David, you just never know. You never repeat an album. You do one album, the label people were always pissed at him going, can we get another Let's Dance, whatever. And David would go, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, because Let's Dance was not even his favorite song.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a jam thing that we did. And then the next album was Tonight, with Love Me the Alien, which was gorgeous. So it was a different album, and then Glass Spider was different. Everything is always very different because you can't keep it in one place. You should never keep David in one place.
Right.
He was like our Picasso, our Van Gogh. He was awesome.
Let me just explain shortly how we come to talk about David Bowie so much tonight when we're actually celebrating the opening of the exposition of Arjen and Patricia.
It's his fault.
Yeah, it's his fault. Okay. You explain.
No, it's his fault.
Why is it? It's Arjen's fault because Arjen brought us all together in a wonderful way.
And the thing of it,
He brought me to Rias.
Yes.
he connected us.
And
We just have to say that you guys actually performed in the Ava last night.
Yes.
yeah,
Doing a David Bowie tribute, and Rias was there, and Kevin was there.
Kevin Armstrong.
Kevin Armstrong was there too.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
that's
his great band.
and you sort of brought those two together, right?
yes.
Arjen,
He brought.
come Arjen, come on. We want to
The
hear
reason
that.
that I'm here.
Here, vertel Arjen.
No.
Do anything.
It's doing.
Unless you would rather do it in Dutch, it's fine.
Dutch.
Veel beter. Hoe dit allemaal gebeurd is, jeetje. Nee, het gaat zo ver dat ik er inmiddels een boek over ga schrijven.
He's writing a book about it.
Yes. Yes. Oké. Nee, dat is... Jeetje, waar moet ik beginnen? Het begon eigenlijk met een...
De korte versie.
De korte, ja, de Reader's Digest versie. Ja, oké, dat heb ik. Nee, mijn neefje, Jeroen de Rijk. Ja. En hij is een onwijs goede percussionist. En die zei me op een gegeven moment van, joh, ik ben gevraagd door Mick Ronson om op te treden in Paradiso. En hij wist niet dat ik zo'n grote fan was van David Bowie. En toen zei hij van, wil je backstage? Ik zei, ja, natuurlijk wil ik backstage. En toen zei ik van, maar dan wil ik heel graag een portret maken van Mick Ronson. Dat heb ik gedaan. En tot mijn verbazing was hij daar toch wel heel erg ontroerd over. En bracht hem eigenlijk in tranen. Ik overdrijf een beetje. Feria was daarbij. Mooi moment, hè? Ja. Nee, zij wist dat wel, ik wist dat niet. Dat zijn hele huis was afgebrand door de bosbranden destijds. En dan zei hij van, dit is de eerste bijdrage aan mijn nieuwe kunstcollectie. Dus dat was natuurlijk, dat vond ik wel heel bijzonder. Dus hij stond echt zo voor om te bedanken. En dat is dan dezelfde man waarvan je dan denkt van, oké, Lady Grinning al. Dat speelt hij. Ik denk, wauw, dan sta ik nu in één ruimte. Dat voelt nog steeds een beetje magisch en dat heb ik nog steeds. En daar heb ik ook Carmine voor het eerst ontmoet. Ja, dat is Mick Ronson, Carmine en dat is de gang, de whole gang. The whole gang. Ja.
Mike Plotty.
Ja. En daarna ben ik steeds toch wel gevraagd om backstage te komen. En op een gegeven moment, ik vind het wel leuk om te vertellen hoe het met Rias is.
Ja, dat...
Dat bedoel je ook.
Ja. Oh.
Het eerste wat ik me nu kan herinneren is dat Rias op een gegeven moment Hero speelde in een bootje op de Biesbos. Klopt dat?
Ja, dus, het was net corona, we
Ja.
stonden met de band Storm en geboekt op Paaspop en ineens ging dat niet door. Dus we stonden op het punt van exploderen en toen ineens was het klaar. Dus ik zat op mijn bootje in het Biesbos en ik had mijn mandoline bij me en begon Heroes te spelen. Ik dacht, die poppen die zetten op Facebook.
Ja.
En volgens mij reageerde jij daar toen.
Ja, ik dacht van wauw, maar dat vind ik dat is niet zomaar een nummertje op de Biesbos in een bootje. Dat is een mandoline. Ik dacht van, dat ging nog wel een stuk verder, want ik dacht van wauw, wat heeft hij een goede stem. Ik ben geen kenner, maar dat hoorde ik wel meteen. En toen dacht ik op een gegeven moment van, oké, wat gaat er nu gebeuren? Hij staat ineens, ik maak het even heel kort, hij staat ineens in Battle of the Bands. Ik dacht, wauw, wat gebeurt er nu? En hij zou eigenlijk al mijn expositie hebben willen openen, ook in coronatijd, dat ging toen ook niet door. En we raakten steeds meer met elkaar vriend. En op een gegeven moment zag ik dat ik natuurlijk in Battle of the Bands erkenning kreeg van Cesar Zuiderwijk en van Spike. En van Angela Groothuizen. En ik dacht van wauw, ik was hartstikke trots. En toen zag ik op een gegeven moment van, nu de grote prijs was een optreden in de Ziggo Dome. Met de 3 andere finalisten. En toen ik die beelden zag, dacht ik van wauw, maar nu moet ik naar Eva. Als eerste, om het haar te laten zien, want ik weet hoe straightforward ze is. Dus ik dacht van, ik laat het haar zien en Eva had gelijk zoiets van, jeetje, maar hij ziet er goed uit. Dat is de first thing.
Hey, I didn't understand none of that, but okay, I heard my name.
What happened when you heard about the concert that you could possibly do here in Naples? How did you learn about it and what did you...
Well, that was after we did Passport. Then, we had been kind of talking about something else. And then after Passport, you know, Passport, whatever it's called. And then, I don't know, did Rice call back and say, listen, management wants to know, and I want to know if you might be interested in doing the Atlas Plus. And I said, hell yeah! Of course, I'm going to work with him again. Wonderful person, wonderful artist to work with. I mean that, but I have more for Arias than just that he's a great artist and going to be greater. It's that I feel this connection with David, and I've been around so many people that did tributes to him, to David Bowie and whatever. But Rojas has a genuine feeling of just the music and wanting to honor, and I feel that in his spirit. So that's what makes me support it. So I feel very comfortable with him.
Yeah.
And really looking forward to it.
Gisteravond en nu ook weer was er echt een heel mooi bewijs van hoe het voelde echt als een one big family. Hè?
Yes, family. Family.
He did. It's his fault.
Yeah.
It's his fault. Because a lot of people around the world always call us to come and do like a Bowie tribute, and we're very uncomfortable because if you're trying to emulate David, we don't want it. If you can capture the soul and the spirit of it, we might consider it. So it took 6 months after this knucklehead here. After he says, you have to check him out, you have to check him out. Oh, he won the thing. I said, well, that's good. So he sent the videos. I'm going, oh, not bad. And then I said, how's his band? So he played his band going, wow, the guys are really good. They got their shit together. Mm-hmm. But we don't know, until you have a relationship with somebody, you don't know how that person really is. And it ended up being absolutely beautiful. The guys in the band are great. He is totally awesome. He's very comfortable.
He is, and he's humble. He's humble.
Very humble.
Humility is important in this. When you get on the stage,
Yep.
of course you need your ego to give the you know what I'm saying? But humility.
Yeah, for real.
Because people can see the fake shit.
Yeah,
Because
easily.
we have to keep the humility in check. And he does.
But
Yeah.
he told me that right before this, that you just gave him the time of his life, because he told me what a big thrill it was for you, right?
Last night was the pinnacle of my musical career. Right?
Whoa.
Yes.
It's a start.
It was magic. To everyone who wasn't there, there are a few people in the room who were there last night. They can tell you about it. But to us, it was a dream come true. It was magic. It was pure magic. It was beautiful.
Real magic, not TV magic.
And
It was
the
real-
audience was
it was
just
honest. It was very honest.
unbelievably. They were
Yeah.
there to just enjoy and seek, just take all the memories of David through us.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they were sharing.
Yeah, just give love.
Yeah.
That's what I
Nee,
feel.
nee, maar mag je voorstellen?
You want to sing a song?
No.
He wants to finish song. Okay.
Dus, voordat ze het laatste nummer gaan aanvangen, wil ik eigenlijk Amelia voorhoren. Wil je het? Is het fine with you? You want to come?
Yeah.
Amelia is the daughter of Mick Ronson. Mick Ronson is the sister of Mick Ronson. And her mother was supposed to be here, but please tell the story if you want. What happened? It's
Sure.
crazy.
Yeah, no, yesterday my mum and I were about to get on a plane to come here. She was incredibly excited to come and reconnect as well with Ava, who she hasn't seen for a very long time. And because of Brexit, they've put some new rules in place, and so she got stopped at border control. So she didn't make it, but luckily I can be here.
Can you believe that? Got stopped by the border control? What does that sound like? Oh my God.
Well, she's a rebel.
Eva,
Yes.
would you please? Just like this. Wait.
Drum roll.
Oh,
okay. You ready? 1, 2, 3. That's such a great picture of the both.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think it's better to see what it's all about before you see the song.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing I think about your work is that it
Thank
really
you for coming and
does-
representing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes.
But it really does encapsulate exactly who they are And I mean, my uncle was a great many things, and a great musician and a great man, but he was also just a beautiful human being. And when you paint him, it really comes through. So our family is really, really thankful for you.